that's an extreme offense for defense move.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we go there.
So let's just dive right into the big fish. If we're already talking about throwing Nurk or Grayson into this, let's talk about the big fish here, okay? We got Zach LaVine, about $40 million, DeMar DeRozan, 29, DeAndre Hunter, 20, and DeJounte Murray, 18.
So Zach, DeMar, and DeJounte feel just repetitive to me because you have Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. Like,
correct.
You don't really need any of those guys. Maybe you can make an argument for DeJounte because you actually do want a point guard, but I just don't see the Suns doing that. I'm all in on DeAndre Hunter. Like, that's the guy that I would love to get on this squad.
I love him.
Listen, his defense is premier, Virginia guy, like, fantastic.
He's averaging 14.9 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, and 1.4 assists.
Yeah, I always loved him. He plays hard. I think that kid's he hasn't reached his potential yet. I think he's about to break out. I look at a guy like Hunter, and again, we're not talking exact numbers. I'm just saying in this ilk, I look at DeAndre Hunter in the same ilk I would look at Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, that cut from that cloth. Could do a lot of things on the basketball court. Maybe doesn't always show up in a box score, but he's a guy I would be ultra intrigued in. But again, it's going to cost a lot. You're going to have to give up Grayson and Nurk. Yeah. You talk to me. Go ahead.
Am I wrong on this real quick before you start?
Sure.
I don't see anybody really trading for Zach LaVine at $40 million a year. I don't feel like the return is worth the investment for what you would have to give up or what the Bulls would like. I just don't see it. I think that's a lost cause for Chicago.
I feel like the pendulum keeps swinging on LaVine because I think it's swung so far back that, like, he's a legitimately good player. The $40 million part is hard for a team that feels like they're one piece away. Like, how do you trade for a piece like that without giving up something significant in return to match that salary? That's really hard. I don't. Zach LaVine's a tough one, and a lot of Bulls fans or some Bulls fans don't want to trade him now because they feel like they're not going to get a lot in return for him at this point. My thing with, I like DeAndre Hunter. I do. Getting to his $20 million salary is difficult because Nas and Grayson doesn't get you there. And to be honest, I don't think I would trade Grayson in a deal for DeAndre Hunter. I understand that Hunter fits the need, but you would probably have to be looking at, for salary purposes, Nurk and Nas, and then you don't have a starting center. And, you could ask for Clint Capella, but he makes $21 million. Yeah. So you're not going to be able to send enough out to justify that trade. I don't know how you make a deal.
It's hard to get there. It's hard. Those are the big swing for the fences, and those are the ones that I think require three of the guys you mentioned. In order to get to that space, you'd have to give up Nurk, Grayson, Nasir, some picks, some second-round picks.
Probably looping a third.
And you probably have to throw in one of the other guys as well. Because there is, let's say, hypothetically, let's talk home run. And I don't even know if I make this deal. The home run swing in that deal is you give me DeAndre Hunter and Capella. You could get there. You can get there by doing Nurk, Grayson, Nasir, KBD, and some picks. I don't know if that deal makes us better. I just don't know. You get better defense from Capella over Nurk, but offensively you lose a lot. And then you get better defense again from DeAndre Hunter, potentially. And it's not much because Grayson does a decent job on defense, but I think you lose a lot of offense. So that's an extreme offense for defense move.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we go there.
All right, the last name I'll throw out to you, this one was brought up recently, Royce O'Neal as a potential target for the Suns, about $9.5 million for him.
Love him.
That feels more realistic to me, I think, in terms of being attainable. I don't know how much he moves the needle. A lot of Jazz and Nets fans have talked about he's a good three-point shooter, but he can be very streaky, and we've seen our fair share of that here in the Valley with our wings. But he is an experienced defender, so I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah. I love him. I think that's a guy I would be okay with. And I think that's realistic. I think that's probably what it's going to come down to.